Oh, whoa, what's this? Nice and quiet. Unfortunately, I didn't do any sort of meddling with this one, so there won't be any commentators saying stupid shit. This is a calm Chun-Li. And the footage looks kind of laggy. Where is everyone? Someone say something. Join in. Insert coin. Dude, this is literally just a Yun playing through story mode. That's a real Makoto. Go back. I actually started streaming, right? It says it's uploading. It says it's live. It says 1 minute 40 seconds. Where the fuck is everyone? I expect people to not come in immediately. Normally. But you know, this time I was like, I'll be right back. There we go. No, it's not. It's not Triple Deluxe. Yeah, I'm just anti-air with the X shoulder. I wonder how viable that is. It's low profile. It seems like it would only be good for exactly what he got, which was the perfect angle of catching a neutral jump. This is a real match. I don't know why I was skipping it. Cool use of EX Fukiage. The EX one apparently does have a bigger hitbox and also a lot more invincibility, I knew. Tomei got hit by that EX chop and he's like, no you. Damn this up. That parry looked difficult. But it might have been very easy. It's not that he parried a fucking cross up. He parried a fake cross up. That was a real cross up. So was that one into the corner. Quite hard to parry those. I love the stamina house ender for some reason. I especially love the low roundhouse stamina house ender, but that only works on certain characters. It's very stylish, but it's never optimal, I don't think. I didn't even touch Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. There's already a new Pokemon game out. And what are we gonna get the Diamond Pearl remakes? Oh, you missed it. Maybe it was before it like didn't go live for everyone yet. Everyone had to like refresh or if I can wait long enough. I made 2 potatoes. I didn't actually make the potatoes. God made the potatoes. But I put them in my microwave and baked them. And I also got an apple. Ooh. The TC, what could he have done that would be better? I don't know if it really mattered that much. It probably did. Diamond and Pearl remakes would be in a really awkward position because of the way the HMs work. We would be going from no HMs to only HMs. I wonder if they're gonna remake Diamond and Pearl or they're just gonna go and make Let's Go Gold and Let's Go Silver. Underground was such a bitch. It was a really cool idea, but it was the only place to get evolutionary stones, and I remember fucking mining forever looking for any fucking sunstone. I forget what I was trying to get a sunstone for. Like, what even needs a sunstone? Sunflora? What else? What is sunstone for? Oh, it was a Blossom. Anyway, I looked for like 20 billion years for... In like most Pokemon games, you can just find evolutionary stones out in the wild. And even if you can't, you can like... Well, I should say, in a lot of them, you can just buy them at a department store somewhere. But the sheer amount... Like, how ridiculously lucky you had to be to find an evolutionary stone at all, let alone the one you want. And yet, like, when I looked online, it said you could find them there. I think I want a Firestone, too. Why was it so hard in DP to try and find those? For whatever reason, that one gen was just the gen where it was impossible. That's every young. I had a nightmare that I was a young player. This is a real story. I'm not making this up. I had a nightmare in the last couple days that I was a young player, and I did like a low short, low short, low short towards fierce, whatever, some fucking generic pressure. Fierce towards fierce. And in my nightmare, it got parried, like every single hit got parried. Now that wasn't like super duper scary or anything. But I remember it happened in a nightmare. And I remember being stressed out. That's the kind of dreams I have. I dream about playing Third Strike and losing. And that's a nightmare. Yeah, I guess it would. Look at this fucking Sean. Gen 4 also had a lot of one-of-a-kind items that were needed for promotion, evolution. But I can't even like point to Gen 4 and say this is dumb because Gen 6 also did that. I don't remember if Gen 7 did. But Gen 6, there was only one fucking whipped dream in the whole game. So if you want more than one of that mon, you just gotta start a new file. I think, right? I don't think you could get it in like any other way. Someone confirm, look up the location of whipped dream. What is that mon? The fucking Slurpuff. You get a Slurpuff just to evolve one to get into your Pokedex. And then it's like, you know, I kind of want a competitive Slurpuff. But you can't have one unless you literally start a new game. Gen 4 did that with like the Dawn Stone and stuff like that, Dusk Stone. There would only be like one per playthrough. It's to encourage trading, but it's just like, wow, if you want more than one Weavile, you better restart your game. What the fuck are they thinking? Even Gen 1 had fucking 4 Moonstones, and there were 4 Mons that needed it. Imagine you were the guy who got like fucking. I don't know. Pokemon controversy? Are we having controversy right now? I think the general population doesn't really mind the Pokemon that was just released. I think people are eager to play it, right? Hot potato! I think the reviews Sword and Shield are all pretty good. From like game reviewers and stuff. It's getting like 90 plus on everything. Hot potato. If that was a towards face instead of shoulder, it would have been really good. That one was a good shoulder, under the Kentatsu. Kentatsu so rarely, I'm surprised that people would be ready for it. My punish is really easy. But Yon having the shoulder under that seems kind of annoying. Competitive's a mess right now. Showdown's like, I think that the new stuff isn't even on Showdown at all, and there's like another one that's like a mirror Showdown, where they've got the beta OU for Gen 8. And there's no pictures of anything and the stats don't work properly for like when you're hovering over. All the stats are already in the game, apparently. Or rather, they've already been decoded by the community. And they're working correctly when you're like doing the calculations and whatnot. World Without the Genies is what we got. What are some other really big changes? There's some really big ones. No hidden power. Ferrothorn is here to stay. Nuke move lists aren't a really big deal. It's just like certain moves getting removed is a big deal. But a lot of the moves that got removed are not like notable. I love what Ken just did. EX Tatsu is minus, so a lot of people hit buttons immediately after it. That's not like some link he dropped, that was a hard read. And the idea was, even if Yun was ready, it was going to waste the rest of the Genai time. Stolen. Ken's damage is good. No return, no frustration. There's another normal type move that got nuked. I forget what. That's not a huge deal. It's kind of weird because the game's always made a really big deal of return. There's like a guy who gives you the return TM in every game, and it's always like, how much do you love your Pokemon? You need to have a mom with good affection to get it. Pursuit's kind of big, but T-Tar got snapped, and so did Weavile, so... Or actually, I think Weavile might be in. They were the only common mons that ran Pursuit. Mixed to death. I don't know, it sets a precedent. We don't have guarantees that every single Pokemon is going to return for a game. What if Glamio is just gone forever? I feel a lot of people tend to underrate Dudley. I feel like Dudley's comfortably stronger than Yang, Yuri, and Ryu Akuma. Including against the top tier. There was a time when Dudley would be mentioned, wouldn't be left out of top tier. Dudley doesn't have that many players, so people like to forget him. Dudley's supers are worse than Ken's. His Oki game is even better than Ken's because of the faster overhead and the cool rows that you can throw. His damage is pretty similar mid-screen and in the corner, except he's got to spend EX more often. Ken doesn't really use EX that much, just EX Fireballs when he feels like it. That's about it. EX Air Tatsu when he feels like it. He doesn't have to use either of those, it's pretty much on him. It's not like the core of his fucking damage or the core of his fucking neutral. Like, say, it is the core of the neutral of Dudley, or the core of the damage of Dudley. The EX Machine Gun Blow. I think Ken is better than Dudley, don't get me wrong, but they share a lot of... Look at that, that was safe. That was nice too. He actually hit the mirror. Who knows what version it was? Not us. We'll never find out. That was a free parry. That was like the freest parry in the universe, but he didn't take it. I think he got the... Is that punishable either way? Was that a punish he got? That didn't look like a punish, since Urian blocked. EX knee cannot be steered, and it cannot be cancelled or anything. It's always two parries. I'm not sure I would have gone for that parry, but it was definitely the correct play to go for it. It was definitely easy, and it was definitely optimal. A lot of people don't like parrying when they're in Gane. Don't blame them. Parrying is kind of a risk thing. And you don't want to take any risks when you're in Gane. You're in super mode. Everything works. You want to stick into the scenarios where everything works and not give the opponent even time to attack. Let alone hope that you get the fucking read right on their attack and parry it correctly. But that one was like, you know. The problem with parrying is it takes a long time too. It can be, like, you have a good grasp of how much Gane you have left based on your B&Bs. But depending on the parry, you might not have a good grasp of, like, when the parry comes and how many parries you do, you might not have a good grasp of how much Gane is left by the time the parry's done. Granted, if you do, like, 2 parries or 3 parries, you're still going to be in Gane at the end of it. But it's going to be kind of awkward if you fucking start doing, like, a shoulder and then you do like another medium shoulder and it like whiffs because you're gonna change the startup of it or something like that. You're gonna running out, change the startup. Yun was really far away there, so Urian could just low block and wait patiently. And Yun didn't walk too far. Yun didn't want to walk too far because he was afraid of walking into a low short. Into like tackle or something. Oh, he's dead. The stuff he gets is more useful against the low tier characters. And then also he has his like wake up mix up gutted because he loses the combos from overhead. It is still quite good. It's just the problem is the two main things that make Dudley interesting and powerful are combos from overhead and EX Machine Gun Blow stuff. Stuff that all arises from EX Machine Gun Blow, which is one of Dudley's only launchers. And SA2 Dudley loses both of those. That was a real ass reset. He let Urian land. Fully reset the damage potential and juggle potential. Whiff punish? No. I wasn't sure if he had time. Yun's Gene is fast, but it's not that fast. Nice. It's like 10 frames or something at least. Who was Momochi playing? Yun? Makoto? Ooh. Momochi has such perfect neutral. Reversal something. Crouch Face into Fireball leads to fuck all. Which is kind of funny. Like Crouch Face canceled into Fireball. And it's not even a combo, I don't think, to do Crouch Face into Light Fireball. But it helps you make Crouch Face safe. If you suddenly want to duck out of it. I had no fucking idea of that until Arliath told us all. Last Wednesday night fights. Oh, the crutch jab, headbutt, crutch jab, link. That's my favorite Urian combo right there. So short, so sweet, so simple. Urian can do like headbutt into EX mirror, which hits in time, and then he can use that EX mirror time to charge, and then do regular headbutt, or not headbutt, a regular tackle into a regular mirror. It's 2 bars to convert, but it gives you like a headbutt conversion into a full combo. It's kind of funny that you can do that. Loading is something that no one talks about in video games. It's been getting worse and worse, I feel, for a ton of different games over like every new console. Remember the fucking debacle with SF5 regarding loading times? That was so stupid and bad. And it's like, oh, well, it can't load the characters very fast. And then there was fucking survival mode right there. What Capcom shilled so hard was their undoing. Because as it turns out, survival mode has 0 loading screen between each new opponent. Also, once you finish your battle, if you're doing like, you can actually set it so that you're looking for ranked matches during survival. I've never done it. I wouldn't even think to do it. Rather be in training so I can lab stuff I just like needed. Oh, he wanted that jump on us to hit. That would have given him a mirror. Unblockable. Yikes mirror. Very dangerous sitting there. He's holding the fort super well. So that jump forward tackle. That's some clean charging. Let me see that again. Yeah, that was a pretty fast charge. I think Capcom must already be working on SF6. They were working on SF5 during all of Ultra. Tackle, tackle, headbutt, baby. That's it. That's the combo. Anyway, once you're done with the ranked, it instantly loads survival with the characters.
本当にそう思って俺に聞いてますか？まああとあれですね。
Awareness is the big issue with GGPO. But even if we don't get that, we'll probably get something like it. He went for the DP, medium Tatsu DP. It didn't hit. Sad.
東西戦参加される方、エントリー用紙に名前の記入よろしくお願いします。東西戦参加される方は名前の記入をよろしくお願いします。てか今日ピンクいねえな。ピンク行方不明。回転壁でウエスピア当たると美味しいけどびっくりしてコマミスしちゃう。確かに。
What the fuck was Akuma doing? Was he trying to remove hits from the mirror? There are better ways.
ちょっとわかる。本当に当たっちゃったよ。
Did you see that shit? He bumped into it 3 times. Forward dash into the mirror 3 times in a row. Cool jump strong. Not a normal you see very often. That was scary. For like 1 second I thought he was going to throw a super at his own face. But he got hit out of it. If Akuma Super 1 hits the mirror, it'll bounce back and hit him, and it does full damage. Kuma's Super 1 does a lot of damage to himself.
なので一応来ます。いらっしゃいませ。ピンク王子はいらっしゃいませんか。ピンク王子、なんかピンクマゴトは見たって言ったんですけど、ピンク王子いないっすね。高血です。無断欠勤ですね。
I kind of understand. He was too close. It was just too close in general. But it was further away. It would have looked even more stupid if he was wrong, which he was. Nice. I don't go for that read very often, even though it's so obvious. It's good against several things Ken can do. Like TC. The problem is any Ken doing TC will be able to react. And then he'll probably DP you. But you can do 2 parries into block if you want to. You can react as well. So mix up and you've got the frame advantage. So it's still good to parry Ken's TC. You can like parry twice, block a little bit, and then do your button. And then Ken will cancel and you won't get punished. But that loses if Ken cancels to something safe-ish, like a fireball. Anyway, if Urian's in the mirror, I think the super will hit Urian without hitting the mirror. But Urian wasn't in the mirror. And also, even if Urian was in the mirror, Kuma was just going to immediately get hit by the mirror, which is what we saw, because he was too close to it. I think somehow Riot can turn money into a good game. I think if you throw enough money at any issue, something good can come out of it. And Riot has a lot of money, and I think a lot of the current games are suffering because they tried to save money.
出ないっす。お、来た。さすがだな。来ました。
Usually I cut my apples, but this one I'm raw dogging. Who here raw dogs your apples? Oh, that's sad.
西日暮里から2回しか使う。それ昔あれだな。なんかよく松田ユンの方の松田さんと遊んでた時によく食らったなそれ。ガチで職質されまくる。
It's a gala apple. A perfectly adequate variety of apple. My favorite's probably Honeycrisp, but Honeycrisp is like, what if we make what if we make candy into an apple? You see that DP hitting but not knocking down? That's actually a feature and not a flaw. That's so he can do medium DP into super and have it hit on the ground. But it makes reversal DP really shitty for reasons like that. I hate Yun much more than Makoto.
つなぎ、真っ黒のつなぎで、長髪で、黒の長髪ストレートで、筋肉ムキムキで、炭入りまくってたら、職質されまくりましたね。磨く必要がない。それかもしれない。
He actually got the meter perfectly with that overhead. He could have dead OS'd it. I think he was close enough. And it was definitely crouching Yun. That's like not even like weird, to be honest, if you fight Yuns a lot. Towards Hard Punch has a nice incidental anti-air, not that you can really do it very well in reaction to a jump. But if a Yun happens to Towards Fierce as a poke and you jump in, you'll land on the back end of it and you'll probably not be ready to parry. I see that quite often. Unfortunately, KOF is made on a budget of string and paper clips. Genius is using string.
うわ、打開って後ろの手にも判定あるっす。あるっす。まあ、ちょっと絶唱で安めでしたけど、本気出すと緊急軽減エージェン入ります。8割っす。
But the best KOF is 13. But the best KOF is Real Bout Fatal Fury 2.
お、山さんですね。アレクサも懐かしい。まだおらっしゃるのですが、それは。まだいらっしゃる。たまに見るっぽいですけどね。プレイヤーのコスプレとかないんですよね。キラキラジョーカーさん、マツケンさんこんにちは。マツケンさんじゃないですけど、こんにちは。あ、確かに富永さんのコスプレそれでいいじゃん。それのお面でいいよ。お、職場色白人間さん、こんばんは。お疲れ様です。お疲れ様です。あ、そっか、タミさん来んのか。書いとかねえと。じゃあこれでいいかな。
I mean an apple and it's so good. If a completely ordinary apple ran for public office, I would vote for it.
それでも何倍頑張っても勝てないものは勝てないかもしれません。キャラ差は非常である。
If a completely ordinary apple was a Pokemon, I would catch it.
RBT さん。もう20年経つんですね。名作すぎる。まあ20年ですね。おじいちゃんですよ、おじいちゃん。あ、そうなんだ。色白さんいっぱい見るんだ。見える？ああ、確かに懐かしいですね。懐かしいっつってもこっちは、まあ、たまには言い過ぎやけど、ほんとたまに見るんで。でも動画での
Remember the first KOF, not KOF, Mortal Kombat X trailer? With the Sub-Zero and the Scorpion fighting in the frozen forest? And the meters were so clean. Mortal Kombat 11 isn't as clean. Mortal Kombat 10 is the only one that I would call remotely aesthetic in any way. I like when a lot of information is conveyed in the UI. Like how KF13 has those little ticks to tell you what the hundreds of HP are. Mortal Kombat X has a little tick in the health bar to show 12.5%, which is the amount that a throw does. So you know when you're dead to a throw. It doesn't actually have a tick in the health bar, that's the interesting thing. It's just that they put the endurance bar so that the center of the endurance bar perfectly lines up with 12.5%. That upkick, I think he had a juggle, if you guys can believe that. He got the first hit only of a light upkick. This will kill, I think. That was a very optimal starter. And it's 12 HP, which is not very good. Lower than the likes of Necro, Chun-Li, and Dora. Somewhat. I don't remember if it's higher or lower than... No, it's high. It's Sean's in the same tier. So it's lower than Sean's. I'm weirdly relieved that all these games are fucking it up. I'm hoping that we can get a solid gen of games that know what they're doing next time. SFXT was definitely not ugly, or not pretty. And it was definitely not stylish. Well, it definitely had a style, but it was not a style that anyone liked. It was definitely shaky. There were a lot of like sharp edges everywhere. Random fucking like cuts all over the fucking meters. The bright fucking colors, like rainbow colored everything. I really like the color of the HP bar in Tekken 7. It sounds so simple. But aren't you guys the same way? The blue and the purple look so easy on the eyes. Street Fighter has just always had like fucking yellow in the HP bars. Just the classic Street Fighter HP color. Street Fighter 3 and 4, I guess 5. SFXT messed up everything that it's possible to mess up just a little bit. There weren't actually that many super egregious problems with the game. It's just that everything that could be a little wrong was wrong. And I mean everything. It was like arguably a bad game just because... It was like definitely a bad game just because it all added up. But a lot of the little things were changed in the patch it got. And by the time I got the patch, everyone didn't like the game anymore. 3060-90 was one of the things that was suggested in the patch. Literally the only reason SF4 has no stun bar is because Street Fighter 2 doesn't have one. Just flat out. Look, that's bits. I got bits. Is this Mutant XP? Are you coming the next Wednesday night fights? Isn't that a thing? SF4, in a few little ways, was a deliberate downgrade. Oh, don't live in Cali. I guess that's a big no. Alpha hit Dizzy. No, Dizzy was an Alpha, or Dizzy was an Alpha 3 at least. There's no Dizzy in Cross Tekken. No, there's Dizzy in Alpha 3! Mika's animation uses the actual Dizzy animation. One of the whole things about Alpha 3 was that you could, like, one of the whole things about Ryu was that he could get a touch of Dizzy in the corner. And then, like, the follow-up combo could be another touch of Dizzy. One of the whole things about Soccer was she could Dizzy you, like, really quick. 2 combos. One of the weird bugs with custom combos was that you could dizzy someone and then OTG them with command grabs, and it would work even if they were stunned, and it would cause a multi-dizzy bug. Oh, that's punishable. That's one of Yun's only actually unsafe things in Gennai. He can't cancel his air moves either, so if Yun like dive kicks onto you, which he'll almost never do in Gennai, it's only just a single parry. And then you recover before he does. And dash punch is minus enough to be punishable. And the only other things apart from that are just up kicks or whatever. Things that are obviously unsafe. Whiffing a command grab, perhaps. At the time of its release, SF4 was seen by most people who played SF3 and SF Alpha as a simplification kind of game. Although ironically, it's actually not very simple. Its complexity is just in other places. I would say it's a lot less simple than Alpha, and maybe about... It's not really... Street Fighter 3 is actually not very complex in any way. So saying it's more simple than SF3 is, I feel, not very right. SF3 is a fairly straightforward game. But Alpha 3 had a lot of mechanics that SF4 just axed. Street Fighter 4 isn't much like Alpha either. SF4's gameplay is like if they took SF2 combos and characters and kind of threw them over Street Fighter 3 system direction minus parry plus focus. Oh, he had a combo off that first dive kick, but he was timid, so he just jumped right away. He thought he was going to get blocked and he needed the mix-up. That shoulder, hitting that towards Fierce. Love seeing these. Oh, he was just a bit... He fucked up the walk. I think it could have worked from the range he was at. Dash punch was safer. Comboing off trades was actually pretty lit, to be honest. That was something you almost never saw, except in very high level play. And it's also very hard to lab, so I feel like it was a pretty good indication of like very good matchup knowledge and experience. SF5 technically has combos off of trades, but that's a big technically. Because normals of different strengths can't trade anymore. Which means you need two normals of the same strength, or a normal... You either need a normal and a special move to trade, which doesn't happen that often because most normals, or most specials aren't that great neutral. Especially up close. Or, you need, oh wow. He got it too. You need normals of the same strength, but radically different frame advantage to trade. So even though technically it's still possible to get combos from trades in SF5, the circumstances make it dramatically more rare. In SF4 you could math it out. This is a fucking com 12. In SF4 you could math it out. It's like fucking the opponent has 3 frames to hit a button here. So if I do this frame trap and like into my fucking close fierce and they hit a button, they're only 3 frames of light. So they're gonna be trading, let's say, fucking Ryu crouch jab with my fucking, I don't know, Dudley Roundhouse. And when you're thinking about it like that, it's like, of course, the fucking Dudley in my random example is going to have a lot of frame advantage. Help. That being said, people don't do frame perfect inputs almost ever in SF4 compared to SF5 where they almost always do frame perfect inputs. So it's very easy to plan around someone doing a reversal button in 5 and very difficult to plan around someone doing a reversal button in 4. Just ask Abel. Abel with his +1 step kick into 4 frame normal. Abel with his +1 step kick into 5 frame command grab. God. One of these days I'm going to take a speech class and I'm never going to stutter again. I feel like I didn't used to. This is Hermit Bath. Never speaks to anyone. Oh, that parry was so good. Slowly forgets how to talk. Crouching opponent. He had the link there, I think. Didn't get it though. Recompilation period. I'm gonna need an elaboration on that one. Makoto players dropping combos! Oh, recomplication. I'm dumb. I didn't read it very well. I think that that's coming up. Well, I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to get it without teaching new players. I think there's just going to be a focus on having both. For what it's worth, Omega does not have input leniency when the opponent's attacks end, so it would be just as rare as it is in Ultra. You have input leniency when your own attacks end, but you don't have input leniency when the opponent's attacks end. So if the opponent does something 0, and you want to do reversal 3 frame normal, that's actually like a 1 frame input for you. And when you do something 0 and you want to do a 3 frame normal, that's like a 5 frame input for you. You got like an hour to do it. Because the input latency will just put it on the first available frame. And that leads to some really goofy stuff. Because like 0 on block attacks are super hard to challenge because the person attacking can always get the earliest input. And the person defending has to like get a just frame to fucking protect against it. Compare, oh, there's something else dumb about it too. No, I did think that before, but I was wrong. I was mistaken. Frame perfect inputs don't happen at the end of your, or they only happen at the end of your attacks. That's why Makoto's repeated fucking strongs are so hard to challenge. Why am I watching this when it's nothing? Here we go. Oh, another dumb thing that happens because of the way input buffering works is sometimes the input buffering picks the wrong frame is when the move is over. Like, Elena, this is the one I remember fooling around with a bit. Elena close forward is +5, and Elena low strong is 5 frame startup. So you theoretically have a 1 frame link between them, and that seems really simple if you, use the input buffering. But if you use the input buffering, it gives you the low strong, like the frame after low stand forward recovers. It like does the in-game math is wrong. It buffers the normal into the wrong spot. It buffers it one frame after it should be. So you can buffer it, but if you do it too early, you get it like a frame after you recover. Whereas if you do it perfectly on time, you get it the frame you recover. Whereas if you do it late, you get it whenever, however many frames you were late. So it actually ends up still being a true one-frame link. Not that it's a super useful link, but you can't even blink it anymore. And then there's certain normals where they deliberately don't have the input leniency at all. It's like coded into each attack, whether it has input leniency afterwards. So like for Ryu's towards strong, I think this is an example. Definitely for Cody's towards fierce. Oh, sad. For Ryu's towards strong, even if you buffered the jab, nothing happens. It doesn't queue up a jab at the end of your move. And that would give you like an easy link out of towards strong, since that's +4 for Ryu, I think, or +3. I think +3. It's the same with Cody. Towards fierce, that's +3. But you can't buffer anything after it, or during it rather. So you've got to hit the frame, you got to hit the true one frame punish. True one frame combo. It's a fucking Sean, no it's not. I wonder if 2045X refers to a year. I wonder if emo refers to now. I wonder if his name is, it's the year 2045X. Oh, I hit him midair. He had a crutch fierce there and it would have led to a full combo, I think. Maybe he was timid. He thought that Ken would have to fall into the crutch fierce. And then Ken would be able to parry it if he fell too far. It might be frame and a half stuff. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know what close forward is on hit and block in SF in Ultra. It's like not a thing Elena does. Elena has a lot of stuff that's intended to use her Ultra 1, but almost no one runs Ultra 1 Elena in any matchup, even though it's okay for some of them. So a lot of the stuff that Elena has to like confirm Ultra 1 is just like not touched. For example, her little standing TC, stand medium kick low fierce. And her EX Link's tail, the 1-bar Ultra 1 setup. Oh yeah, free meter for Remy. I've been thinking about what Everdred said. Nice EX DP. I asked him how Aura beat Remy. And he replied, I can't hit you unless you're moving. Nice jump. Remy was so eager to stop Ken from running in that he committed just a bit too much on Ken's very rapid approach. Remy burned all his meter trying to win that too. The meter you get from parries is actually pretty low. It adds up over time, but it's not a big deal. Parry for meter build is almost never like a deciding factor of a round. It's still a good idea to parry fireballs because it's free, so why wouldn't you take it? It's free meter. You also get put into, you take less chip and you don't have to jump or anything like that. So I'm not saying don't parry fireballs. Always parry fireballs. I'm just saying the meter is like, you know, it's not important. Most scenarios where you parry, you're only parrying once. And having a single, like, getting a single parry gives you like as much meter as landing a heavy normal. I like having a heavy normal blocked. Oh, oh, help. This is what a truly desperate Ken looks like. Delayed, delayed button. Oh, that was such a good anti-air. He knew that Ken had absolutely no choice but to jump in parry. And his anti-air was fucking delayed universal overhead. That was super good actually, because that was strong against everything Ken was doing. Universal overhead is pretty hard to react to be honest. You can react to it, it's definitely reactable. But at endgame, it's very easy to just get tagged with one of those if you're close. In terms of overheads, it's quite fast. It's just really unsafe. And by really unsafe, I mean kind of unsafe. You'll get throw punished. Ibuki only appreciates it because it's so much faster than a regular overhead. But her regular overhead is so safe. I don't think she has anything super duper interesting to go for if she gets like a super meaty crutch hit universal overhead either. I might grab him. I don't mind. Oh, he had a strong into EX knee. He didn't take it. I think it was guaranteed there. After that parry. If you parry something that she cancels into Raida, you can interrupt Raida, thankfully, because Raida's not super duper fast. Whoa. So if Ibuki's doing like close forward into Raida or low short into Raida, technically speaking it's still a 50-50. Because you can parry and then throw before she can Raida. But of course you don't want to do that because she can raw Raida. But of course you do want to do it because if you parry Ibuki once you can get half her health. So it's all rather complicated. Depends on the character a lot too. Both of these characters actually don't do that much damage. It's just that every one of their hits leads to a decent amount. But if you get one opportunity, both these guys don't even get 50%. Alex gets 50% if he gets a heavy chop, but he rarely does. And honestly, it's still not even 50%. It like is with super as well. Heavy chop, stay medium kick, super would take off 50% pretty comfortably, I think. And then there are characters who just melt your health all in one go. Like Oro. Like Kyrian with ideal screen position. To go for corner pressure, or corner mirror combos, or mid-screen unblockable loops. Yeah, Urian can murk you off of one parry. Even without a mirror, he can get like tackle onto EX tackle. Crouch fierce tackle, EX tackle. But yeah, if Urian gets a parry from far out, it's like fucking low forward. There's your punish. Parry into low forward. I know that pain because the aura is the same way. But a lot of the characters are. Having a long range cancel is a privilege. Chun-Li, Shotos, Twins. I'll have a mid-range button that can be cancelled. Oro does, he just doesn't have anything to go into. I get low strong into fuck all. What's especially frustrating about low strong is that it has an extremely high pushback on hit. And block Q actually. So like, unless you're absolutely point blank, low strong into uppercut actually doesn't work. Unless you're absolutely point blank, low strong into command grab doesn't work. It's not just the button, it's what you can go into as well. Max range low strong won't go into Raida. So you've got either like max range low strong into EX Sumuji, which I don't even know if that's good, or like SA3, which no one runs. Ibuki's still better off than some characters. A lot of Ibukis just do the raw fucking EX Sumuji if it's a long range punish. There's not much of a deal. Something mixed up after super. It's not crazy or anything. If she gets super, she can super jump cancel it and either knock you down or air reset you. A lot of Chun-Li's opts for the air reset because it's mildly stronger, and also because the air reset's more useful. It's easier to sneak something in. The screen scrolls down late because you're mid-air getting air fierced. So she can hide what she's doing on the ground, which is almost like... It's not... Her mix-up isn't super scary, but if she's got perfect timing, she can like get a meaty universal overhead you land into. And it's hard to see. It's already hard to see universal overhead. But that one, the screen scrolling makes it even harder. And she could also do a low forward, and that's a 50-50 because they are an overhead and a low, and they both lead to super. And then the other thing she can do to kind of complete things is that if you're looking for a parry or something like that, she can store some lightning legs. And lightning legs are pretty great on block, actually. They do a lot of chip. They're totally safe. And they are a lot of parries, and if you don't have something fast, you can't even interrupt them between parries. That's the knockdown follow-up. You can also do stomp into jump roundhouse. The resets are fierce is the more typical one. You can also do something into jump short. I think stomp into jump short. And the jump short actually launches the opponent very high up, which makes the screen scroll better for Chun-Li to hide something. But it also kind of telegraphs she's going to try and hide something because she did jump short. But also even knowing that Chun-Li's trying to hide something doesn't help you, because it's like she's going to make you land into a 50-50. I actually haven't seen a Chun-Li do the short setup in a while. It's almost always the fierce when I'm watching. Seems to be how Chun-Li's like playing. They like their fierces. I think that could have been empty cancelled. Watch your ground fireballs against the Chun-Li with super. She can super through them. Oh, nice confirm. It's the fierce. You can see that was the meaty universal overhead. It wasn't that meaty. He could have timed it better. But if he timed it better, it would have been even easier to react to, I think. But you could see it was still quite reactable. Nice. That sounds like me when I heard about Dissidia being a thing. I was like, what the hell? There's going to be no class balance. That's what I thought for like 1 second. I was like, they're all going to be like warriors. It was a stupid thought.
キャンセル効かないだけで。なるほど。あと大足が息吹の方がだいぶ長いです。なるほど。でもそれガードされたら砲よけ飛んでくる。まあゲージが溜まる前に。
A lot of FE protags don't even have like
できないんで。そういうやつ。ゲンキックは中足も
defined class archetypes.
手を潰します。なるほど。
Like yeah, Cecil's a knight,
中足がゲンキックに潰されます。
but like ooh nice. Oh never mind, not nice.
おいしい。
Oh what a fucking okay whatever. That's the worst. It's not like fucking Sim Medium kicks a slow button either. That's not like a crazy hard link. The thing is you do need a high connect jump fierce in order to get the punish in time. Oh cool. Oh that should have been kill. So in the moment choke. Every now and then I drop some kind of combo versus Chun-Li. Oh, but I was gonna say Cloud's not even like a fucking soldier or anything. Warrior, knight, whatever, what have you. He's not in anything. No one in FF7's in anything. Tidus isn't really in anything either. Who are classes? Zidane's a thief. And Terra's a mage of some variety. That's like it. Then you just have like fucking Onion Knight who's an Onion Knight. Cecil who's a regular Knight. Vaughn isn't in anything. Tidus is something. I don't know what the fuck Bart's is. He's not in anything either. The parry and crouch jab cancel the super. It's a tight input. Easier after a parry. You get to buffer it. Nice. Because of the way that hit, that might have been minus. I doubt that 360 was a punish, but it was probably a real mix-up. How was Chun-Li ready for a reversal super? Also terrible punish. There was no reason not to spend meter. He definitely should have done it. Okay. Only one fierce. Wow, that cross under. I think you can actually super cancel or even link SA2 after a lightning legs, but it's like horrible. I don't think you can super cancel it actually. I think super cancel lightning legs comes later. But the scaling is really high on it, so it's not like something you usually see. But I was just thinking about it. He had the meter and he landed the lightning legs. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a link to super. Chun-Li super usually lands in a very unscaled way, which is one of the reasons she's top tier. When you see her land a super in a scaled way, it's like alarming how ordinary the damage of that super is. Instead of doing like 45%, it's doing like 20. It's like, wow, I forgot that super can be weak. Chun-Li's not only comfortably winning, but she can comfortably sit on her meter while winning. So this is like horrible. I know this is one round, but I feel like this has almost decided the match. Because now this is crazy hard of an uphill battle for Yuri to fight. That's just a meter to get her closer to the corner and I didn't even fucking do it. This is like over. I know it's only 10 seconds into the fucking match too, but it's so hard. Because of the way the fucking earlier rounds played out. Nice buffer. Oh, it's over. Yurian with no meter in the corner versus Chun-Li with a super that killed on contact. You definitely have to fuck with Yun's meter economy, but it happens on a much quicker scale. Yun can, if you leave Yun for like 10 seconds, he'll build a super. Whereas it takes Chun-Li like a whole round.
さばけるというか、仕方できるか。いや別に付き合わないけどみたいな。知らんし、だからジャンプ中継で逃げるみたいな。そうですね。っていうのがコツですよね。相手の強いところに付き合わないで、チュンリーの強いところだけ。
I don't mind Chun-Li that much, speaking as someone who literally plays a character that gets counterpicked by her. Oh, that cross thing was pretty cool, and he had a really nice buffer after it worked.
確かに。今全然分かんなかったそう。やばい、嫌になってる。タミさんが無理無理とか言って。
The jump back fierce on the air dash. This matchup is not fun. That's the stomp into jump short. Launches the opponent nice high. Nice and high. I was talking about that earlier. Oh no, the cherry top. Chun-Li. Chun-Li can actually reversal super that normal. She can reversal super a few of 12s, but that one in particular is quite easy to react to. I think a 12 player would know about the reversal super there, but how many Chun-Li players know about it? That's the beauty of it. It's the beauty of playing a low tier. So no one knows. Chun-Li never has to learn about the fucking bullshit for countering your character. Therefore, there's a good chance she doesn't know it. Oh. That can link, but it didn't. This is still okay. Chun-Li only has one bar. She'll probably get another. 12 has two, and they're both alright. Quite useful. 12 can hang in neutral. Not great, but like he can. Air dashes are good stuff. He could have super cancelled the first one. Yeah, he's hanging real nice with the air dashes. He's feeling real random about it too. He's like baiting her to jump, trying to meet it mid-air. He's not giving her anything. Now he's all pretty safe. Whoa, whoa! Something probably could have punished that without anything sort of crazy. The cool thing about EX dive is that even if wow, she interrupted it. Even if it gets parried in an air dash situation, 12 still is safe. So if he catches you jumping and he EX dives at you, it'll beat almost anything you do, and even if you parry it, he gets away. What the fuck is Captain America's Xena drop? Oh, it's at the end of his super, isn't it? What's that one called? Final Justice. All ninjas in all fighting games must have an Xena drop. It's the law. I like yogurt, but I don't like Greek yogurt that much. I like whatever the other kind of yogurt is, which I don't know how to describe whenever people try to fucking say, do you like yogurt? I say yes, but not Greek. And then I'm just left there, wondering what the other kind is called. Plain yogurt? Plain just makes it sound like it doesn't have a flavor. Buki's so safe. Doesn't matter if you parried both hits.
しっかりなかなか減る。
これが
That was a punish.
ミスってしまった。
I was wondering what he was going to do there. But that's a fairly obvious thing for Ibuki to do, I guess.
あれがつながればって感じですね。いい感じの試合の流れになったんですよね。
いぶきの体力だとね、あの SA2 回食らったらもうほぼ死んじゃってる。
Oh, yogurt with toppings that you can mix in.
あー
Like
あと
cut up strawberries. I see those at my grocery and every now and then I buy one. Or blueberries or mango. Or granola.
あーじりじりした
What are we talking about those? Granola is great in the yogurt.
詰めたのは山さん。あーっと垂直
Cool,
に
cool
見て
punish on the neutral jump.
あー出なかった。
M&M's. I've had that before. I've had M&M yogurt. It's actually super nice, as you would expect.
さあ逃げていく。逃げてきますね。
I've also had an Oreo one because the company that makes the M&M one at my store also makes an
あー
Oreo
もう
one.
ちょっと削り。
Chocolate chip, never had. Sounds good.
もやし。
I doubt that fucking chocolate's much worse than granola anyway.
あー死ぬ
Ah.
かな。あまだ。も
Oh,
やし。
sad. He had to parry that on my cup.
この
See that low profile?
豆腐みたいで美味しそう。
Two forward dashes into throw. Why does Ibuki only have one throw animation? Whoa, that was a real cross up.
てかやっぱいぶきやばいよね。なんかあんま食らってなさそうに見えるのに減ってるもんね。
減ってるね。
いやー厳しい。
これだけ体力リード取られると厳しいですね、挽回。
厳しい。
Well,
逆に
there
走
goes
ってる
that.
やつ。
Run one looks so good.
さあしのぶさんいってらっしゃいませ。しのぶさんも嫌になってる。やだーっつって。
Elena only has one throw animation too. I think they're the only two, but don't quote me.
最後ね。
It's funny because they were both there since New Generation.
そのブロを対空で入れようとしてね、入れ違って走っちゃうっていうのがね、たまにあるんですよね、このゲーム。ブロガードとかが。投げ、先にもうさっさと端を追い詰めましたね、10秒で。
I feel like it's so hard when you're making something, being aware of that, like, the first time you see it versus 100th time you see
タ
it.
ックルが当たっただけで今までの12の頑張りが消えた。
I looked at the clock and it's only just now 2 a.m. That feel, that's a good feel.
なんかすげえコンボ食らって死んだとかじゃなく、タックルが痛えっつって死にましたね。あー出なかったけど、まあ、結果オーライなのかな。
Probably not.
Ah,
I dashed into a mirror.
それだ
That mirror came out the wrong way. He came out the way he wanted it to come out, but if it came out the other way, it would have been swell for him. Wildness back in fighting games. Wildness is actually something that's gone. It's good and bad. There's a lot of wildness in cross tag battle. If you want a fighting game that has wildness, they still exist.
思わぬものが2回当たって死んだっていう。
WCI is quite wild.
え
This is a calm Chun.
いやでも意外と意識してなかったんで。なるほど。皆さんお願いします。
Tomi.
さあいつもの大将。いつもの大将ですね。大将いつもの。バーサス名物お願いしますって。開幕
Oh shit.
まずビールでぐらい
It's Thursday night slash Friday morning.
やっぱいつものこの色ですよね。
I'm gonna read the new
So
One
is
Piece
it?
right now.
あ、安心できる。あ、これは助かった。
I'll narrate it for you guys. I won't really.
お、いつものキャラサだから置いてますねこれ。そうですね。キャラサを置いてます。下がいや
I have a new Reddit mail. I have 2 new Reddit mails.
どっちを食らったらやばいかっていうのは。そう下食らったらやべえんだよあれ。さあこれもやべえっすよリーチ。なるほど。あれリーチだから結構来てますよねリーチ。いいですね。さあしっかりしたなみなパン。硬いですね。硬い。さすが人生で2回しか画面足で死んだことがない。確かに確かにそんなこと言ってたなこの間。
Chapter 962. I won't really narrate it.
20年やって人生で2回しかないですからね。
Where the fuck is Jamini's box?
どんだけ硬いんだって。ダットリーの恥まあそうっすね死んだことないっつってたから。まあ攻めてる側がミスったら死ぬって考えるとやっぱ精度も落ちちゃいますからね。確かに。あこれ自分は殺す画面足で来ちゃいましたね。頑張り大きい。
いやだからこういうことだよね。
こういうこと。
こういうこと。
大将
いや切らないで切らないで。こっからあと1時間ぐらい喋るから。
ヤバさん、アブさん、マイクありがとうございました。
これはだからこの
What the hell? It's still not on anything.
数々のキャラさの辛いうちの一つであって、それを覆すっていうのは
What the fuck is it?
どれだけの努力が必要なのかっていう話を
I just want to read One
これ
Piece.
からあと閉店まで行きたいと思います。
ではまた来週お会いしましょう。お疲れ様でした。
いやいやいやそれ切っちゃうとあれかも。
Alright, I give up. What happened? Did Tomi win? Looks like he did.
ローカルがね容量不足で切れちゃっ
He's
た
not
から
playing anymore.
今週ねいつからだろう。まあ決
They must be organizing a exhibition. Oh, it's Ibuki. Look. We're back. We're back to Ibuki. MVCI does have good gameplay and shit presentation, I would say. People had mixed opinions because the characters are a little bit more streamlined. Also, they're missing some old favorites. Who knows? Probably Abu. There's a lot of... They killed some of the characters who did some of the weirder shit. And then there's a lot of characters who are fundamentally pretty similar in MVCI. There was some... The roster is like hit or miss. Because there are a lot of characters who are utterly non-functional in MVC3 who now work. For example, the Nemesis T-type. For example, I don't know. There's gotta be at least one more, right? Frank is like maybe better, maybe worse. Chris is better. I don't know. I like the tag mechanic so much more in MVCI than MVC3. Iron Man's miles better. Iron Man is a meme in meme in 3 and quite a good character in I. I wouldn't say that the DLC characters are actually that good. Winter Soldier is a strong candidate for the best character in the game. I don't think he might be, he might not be. And Black Panther is a strong candidate for the worst character in the game. He almost certainly is. Maybe Ryu. Most of the other DLC characters are just like... I think Sigma's top tier, right? Or like high tier at least. But he's not like crazy. He's not like broken. People thought Monster Hunter was pretty good, but she ended up being not as good as people thought. Venom's okay. I think people overrate Venom a little bit. Venom's mix-up is not as good as it looks. Black Widow, I never even saw anyone play her. From what I played of her, she felt like she had a pretty strong kit. Black Panther was pretty terrible. He was hard to play, so it was hard to really gauge how good he was. But even if he was being played at a high level, there were a lot of things about him that were just fundamentally very stupid. For example, once he was put into a space cube, space storm, which is something that happened to every character with decent regularity, he had literally nothing to do. He had like nothing. None of his attacks worked at all. Even a lot of other characters that you might regard as close range characters, like the Nemesis, like Cap, are surprisingly good fighting out of the box. It seems like they put quite a lot of effort into making sure characters aren't helpless when they're in the box, even though obviously the box ended up still being really strong. The actual meta itself of MBCI was pretty stupid, but it still, I would say, it was less stupid than MBC3. Nice hitbox.
でっけえ。いや、富永さん頑張ってない。誠が頑張ってる。頑張りって言ってたけど今。誠の足がでっけ
The
え。
point of a combo is to just cash out your fucking 5k and MVCI, which most teams can hit without even spending bar, as long as you're doing the optimal combos, and then find some way to reset the opponent into a long duration super, and then get a low-high mix up on during that super. And the good supers for that would be things like beam supers like Iron Man, Dante's gun super, Winter Soldier's gun super, any one of those. And the first touch mattered a lot because the first combo was unbreakable, because both players hadn't built a second bar yet. And whoever got the first combo would build the second bar first. So even if they got touched after they got their first touch, they would be able to just break immediately if they wanted to. I actually like the Chris G. Morgan stuff. I like that they was cheap on both directions. I think that was important. It wasn't all just rush down spam into unseeable mix-ups that all lead to full combo. You could also just fill the screen with fireballs, and that was just as good. Chris G's was the best way to do it, but it wasn't the only way to do it. I like that in MVC3 you could find something to make it work. Web Ball Reality Stone was only like a month, but it was pretty stupid. I remember people trying to meme with that. It's such an easy oversight, I feel. Huh? Way early. What about the Dante unblockables? There's like an unblockable if you back turn someone in a combo and reset them the right way. What was it? Was Mind Stone? I don't think it. No, Mind Stone was just used to get the back turn. But Dante didn't need it. Dante could like back turn any opponent in any combo. Then he could reset them into an unblockable. The only way out is to just like do the combo breaker.
どうせ走ってくんだろうっつってもしかしたらあれじゃないですか、誠の頭に突っかかって投げ前の外だったんじゃないですか。
I think at the time of that discovery, Dante was already top tier, which is hilarious.
ダメージ誠
Dante is still a pretty solid character, one of the better ones.
ああ、まああれも選ばれしから
There are a lot of it's hard to call the tier, actually, in MBCI.
今はもう終わった感じです
There are a lot of viable characters, a lot more than in MBC3.
今もう終わって今ちょうどの試合
MBC3 lived a long time, and it's this, even though I feel like the balance is worse, it was easier to pull out something no one had ever seen, because of the way the game worked. But a lot of characters just had really stupid things about them, like how Iron Fist's standing S couldn't hit airborne opponents at all. Look at that. Uppercut.
白パイセンのダットリー見逃したんですがどんな感じでしたか。今日いました。今日ダットリー使った。ちょっとだけ使って何もできずに転ばれた。
The dash cancel. And then he got the roundhouse to go the wrong way. Classic. He's just doing that air super to cover his escape from the corner. It's kind of cute. Using super meter. Your meter doesn't do a whole lot. Using it to get some free chip and also escape the corner is pretty smart. Oh, oh, super is really dangerous now. Or is it? It definitely, you need support. That's what Doom got credit for. Remember that? Remember early Doom? Like early Ultimate Doom? Doom missiles can make so many non-viable characters viable. And not even just Doom hidden missiles. Honestly, all three of Doom's assists are actually super good. I think it was always the fucking molecular shield that people ran in MBC2, but that's like maybe the worst one in 3. But I still saw it. I saw people run all of them. I remember Justin Wong memeing with a fucking Felicia team with Doom. Remember that? He did that for like a month. And it's like still the only time I've ever seen anyone use Felicia. Am I watching Tominaga fight Akam? I'm pretty sure Felicia is like the bottom of every fucking tier list. I don't know if she's actually good. I don't know what kind of tech she has. I don't know anything about her. It's easy to point fingers at times people have shown a character working. But if you just watch Virgil a little bit, it's like, huh. I don't even know if I'd call Virgil the best character in the game. He's got to be up there. He's probably in my top 2. I think Virgil's maybe the best character in the game, but I find Zero to be the grossest. Zero makes me the angriest. Talban. I would so enjoy Darkstalkers set in a semi-Marvel engine. That cross through. People almost never call Doom top tier, even though he's probably the single most picked character. It's hard to rate his support, mathematically speaking. If you actually just look at Doom, he's quite good. He's not probably top tier, but he's quite good in terms of neutral. But in terms of the support he provides to like the ridiculous variety of different teams, I'm pretty sure he's the most played character in tournament play.
キャラさ完全にキャラさ
If you look at it like that, Doom might be number one. But I almost never hear people call Doom a top tier character.
あ、まあそうだね。間違ってはいない。キングギドラ以外のチュンリーは全部一緒ですね。まあいいや。今日は正義の味方として今日は頑張ったからいいや。
Jump before the last hit. How are you gonna do that? Then you have to. Can you do that? Or don't you have to parry the last? Don't you have to parry like at least one hit of the second series of kicks? You don't have to do that. She can just jump. Jumps and whiffs.
神さんもですね、神さん。いや
It's not so long. I didn't know she could leave the ground. For Q, it's not even a fucking window at all.
絶対ないから。
わかんねえ。
絶対ないか
いやでもありえますよ。
ら。いややめて。
ありえるから。
ありえないか
現役人じゃなくて将来ありますよ。だって EX いっぱい使えるから。
ら。
やばいよ。
そんなこと言ったらヤン超強くなっちゃうじゃん。
確かに。
I always see Ibuki's just parry the last hit and jump then.
さて力丸さんに勝ち越せる。厳しいな。
今でも厳しい。
今でも厳しいと思うよ。
You get the same combo either way, don't you?
ただ力兄が久しぶりのところをこう急に襲いかかればワンチャンごぶれるかもしれない。力兄はね取り戻すの早いからね。そこはやはりキングギドラなんですよ。キングギドラとパンピーの違いがそこですね。やはり
誠も丹田の
誠も丹田の方が本当は強い。これはねありえますよ。
何でもありえる。
ただ間違いなく言えるのは聖中と丹田は分かんないけど土佐波と丹田だったら完全に丹田の方が強いんでそれは間違いないですね。
Yeah, a lot of Ibukis don't even touch that. I can't believe. Oh, he didn't have the super. That's why he didn't fucking super coming down. Oh! The super's so good now. The super's so good. What's Chun-Li gonna do? Oh shit. That was the worst down forward roundhouse ever, but it worked. Down forward. Chun-Li's extremely shitty down forward roundhouse into her fucking 2-frame jab. And fucking Ibuki's stand jab whiffs. Ouch. I was thinking about how he was gonna jump in super, but he didn't.
でそうですね。いやこれは絶対丹田
He just saw that he saw the free win and he was like, okay, I'll just take the free win, and he was too slow.
何で使ってんのだって。
それはやはりこの富永さんが聖中とか丹田を使うと終わってしまう。でもうちょっとねみんなで楽しく遊びたいんですよサードストライクを。
逆に終わらせていいんじゃないの。
いやいやいや。
Yeah, he got the early parries.
今勝ち越せないって言った人に丹田使えばいいんじゃないですかね。そういうことですよね。
あえて封印しなきゃいけない SA があるんですよ。やはり楽しんでいきましょうサードストライクを。でもとりあえずもう20年経過してるからそろそろ終わらせてもいいんじゃないみたいな。
So instant. Did you see that? That was low. It's like he was on the ground and all of a sudden he was in the air fucking doing a super.
もう20年経過してるからそろそろ終わらせてもいいんじゃないみたいな。いや
サードを終わらせちゃうと俺らやるゲームなくなっちゃうんだよね。
まだまだ
Tommy. Watch out.
クーペのチームメイト、今4人まで決まってますね。
Back strong anti-air versus the Tsurugi actually worked. Can this kill? Oh, it would have if he spent bar. Overestimated Ibuki's ability to live. I like the idea of turning Ryu's air Tatsu into some kind of dive kick. It seems like they kind of wanted to do that in MVC3 and MVCI, but it's quite shitty. It's like almost good. It's actually nerfed in MVCI compared to 3. If you could do like air light dive kick and like make it land on either side and lead to a full combo, and so if you was landing right above you, it's hard to see which side it would end up on, that would actually be a good mix. As it stands right now, MVCI Ryu has absolutely no mix at all. He is literally a character without mix. He's got nothing. He's got no combos from throw, I think. That red was good. Oh, dropped it. I think technically speaking, his Shinshoryu is the most damaging super in the game when he's at low health, but it's not like wildly stronger than other supers. Yeah, MVCI still played a bit. Not a lot. It still occasionally makes it to majors. And it still played at Wednesday Night Fights, for example. It was on stream last week when I was there, and I was watching War Destroyer play. Oh. Oh, TBC is kaput. Oh wait, what's being corrected? TBC killed Rio Dash. Yeah. They were very timid on Ryu's design. He does have a standing overhead, which is kind of cool. That's legitimately kind of cool. Standing overheads are quite good in the context of MVCI. You can be like invisible because you're inside a beam and you can just fucking overhead someone. It also works well with certain stones. Cool, keeps the corner. Also pretty good mix. That was minus for sure, even though it was a light one. Even though he didn't mash it. It was so high up. Oh. That was actually not a very good punish at all. But he turned it into a reset, and the reset was actually super good. But he doesn't want to spin. Oh, air throw was good. Yeah, he was there. I don't think I ever beat him, but I came close. More than once. I think he's better now than he was back then. A lot of the best players at MVCI are just people who kept playing. Because the meta's deep enough that you could like dig into it. And a lot of people just stopped digging. Chun is quite good. I've always been a very big proponent of Chun-Li in MVCI. She has such a fast overhead low mix. It's like the fastest in the game after Spider-Man. And that's super good with beam supers. Or just in general being covered. That was really early to pull that out. That made the parry a lot easier. You want to force the opponent to parry post freeze or pre. Well, yeah, you want the parry post freeze to be difficult. He should have jumped like, and then super low to the ground right before she woke up. That was like a choke, to be honest. Chun is good, I think, at what some of the most broken stuff is. in MBCI. I don't know if that makes her strong herself. She feels like a high tier to me, if not a top. But it's hard to say. I really do feel that Chun-Li, Winter Soldier, which I think was Spain Hall's team at the time, or at least for a while, is one of the strongest teams on paper, from what I observed. Just because every single combo can turn into a Winter Soldier Beam Super, into Chun-Li overhead low spam. She gets like 3 overhead low mix-ups before the super's done. Or like 4. It's insane. Trying to fucking defend your way out. Very nice. Okay. Oh, that was good. I feel like Chun-Li's a better character than Spider-Man as well, so even though Spider-Man can do that stuff too. Chun-Li's like better when you're not doing that. There we go. I would have loved Iron Fist for the Crouching Fierce. I would have loved fucking Wolverine. I just want to play Wolverine Strider, but there's fucking no Wolverine. That was a neck breaker you got grabbed out of. That setup keeps, it's so weird, but it keeps working. It's because, like, he delays his landing with the kunai and then supers. And the opponent, by the time that Makoto would, or Ibuki would be landing, the opponent's trying to make her land into something. So the kunai stops him from landing, and then the super punishes whatever the opponent's doing to make her land into stuff. Yeah, I want Nero. The back strong fierce anti-air. Close fierce got grabbed. That was jump. That neutral jump was neutral jump parry, trying to parry wake up DP into super. Trying to prevent wake up DP into super. There's a Hien. A lot of characters get kind of shut down by the Chun-Li with super. He's playing a very neutral jump heavy game. Oh, that was a punish, I think. Oh, the low parry. Whiff towards roundhouse into low parry. That's good versus Chun-Li. Oh, mid-air connect on the towards medium kick. Cool Kwasu. And this hurts a lot. Still winnable. Still a very winnable round. Chun-Li wants to win without spinning bar. Oh yeah, free meter. Oh, okay. It's hard to punish that in an optimal way. You have to react to when Chun-Li stops smashing. So that's pretty easy if your punish is throw, but if your punish is something good, then you've got to react super fast. I actually, if I was going to throw in a fucking RE character, I guess Leon would be good. But I would have liked Jake. I'm going to be that guy who says Jake. Jake would have been a good RE character to add. You can like have like shades of Wesker inside Jake, I feel. But it also is an opportunity to do entirely new shit. And I think technically speaking, lore-wise, he's probably the most martial artsy of all the characters in the game. Who won? Chun-Li. They have a lot of animations to pull from. Dragon's Dogma. I shudder to think of what it would look like. They put in Saban. They put in Julius. Who the fuck could they put in? Mercedes? Hell no. Dragon's Dogma didn't establish like a default character in any way. I get most games like that don't really try to, but they'll just have like someone on like the cover. Like fucking the villager we all know. There's no default villager. I don't think there's a default monster hunter of any variety. Oh, too far. That was a really shit punish. A Mega Man character? They already got all the important ones. Who do you want? We got fucking X0 and Sigma. We got X. Oh. You say I'm not him. Let me think. You want fucking Cutman? You want Cutman to throw his scissors at the opponent? Do you want fucking Sage Harpuia? Actually, I want Sage Harpuia, so I can't even make fun of that. Wily. He's alive, but I'm sure we'd get something like Tron. And Tron's already a Mega Man character. Sage Harpuia would actually be cool. The only problem is no one would recognize him because no one played Zero. Base.exe. If they're going to add an EXE, not Mega Man, do base. Base.exe would be perfect to add. What the fuck? The hold medium kick TC. That was a really shitty button to hit, and Tominaga was ready with the punish. Whoa, good confirm. He was so ready for that, he did it instantly as he landed. You got a bit of time to confirm that, but he saw that Makoto was already whiffing, so he just did it fucking like that. I would actually die for base.exe or Sage.
チュンリーはしゃがめないって強いんだからそのキャラ。悪の連行にそうですね。フットの
Whoa.
ボットが依然とかいううんちですね。
Peg face is a good button.
10万勝ちの予定が15万負けに差額25万やべえな。
Nash but Shadow. It'd be alright.
いるよ。いやマジさ、画面端のチュンリーのジャンプだけ自分からしゃがんでくらってさ、許さんとか言ってさ。
I'd like to see what they did post SF5 with Nash, with Shadow. Because they could add a bunch of stuff that he got from, like, you know, SF5, but turned stupid. It would be really interesting to see the VT2 version of, like, or rather the model version of his VT2 stuff.
ガイが間違った立ち回りはしていない。大丈夫大丈夫か。25万って
I wonder what Capcom's working on right now. I wonder if Dragon's Dogma 2 is actually being made. Since the whole thing with what's-his-face Itsuno? The whole thing with Itsuno was that he wanted to work on either Dragon's Dogma 2 or DMC5, and now DMC5 is done.
ベリラベリラ。
終わってる。
Capcom, please be making Dragon's Dogma 2. All I need to have a perfect game, a literally perfect game, is Dragon's Dogma again with local and online multiplayer. That's it. I'll be done. If another player with another controller can take control of one of the pawns, that would be fucking lit. I would never play anything else. That would just be it. I would be done. Gaming would be over for me.
仕事にしても始まるまでにまだ時間ある。明日も行く。明日も行くんすか。
Dragon's Dogma is a game where the opening is the worst part, and almost everyone quits before they get really deep into it. And it's a shame because it's actually one of the best action RPGs I've ever played. I've beaten it several times. It's fantastic. I'll give you the lowdown at some point.
いやだからそのお子さんは俺とか富永さんが預かります。
Damn, all of you? Everyone quit before they got into it? It's good.
ここから近いんで大丈夫。
Got into a cave, probably the one with all the Saurians in the starting town. Oh, maybe not. Cave with a big troll. That's probably the one where you're chasing the cult.
裏物談義。
There's a troll in the middle of the one where you're chasing the cult. There's a bunch of skeletons and a bunch of fucking undead, and then there's a troll.
アスミスだと3連発。3連発されると結構きついんだよねあれ。
It's like super different from Souls actually. For one thing, you can heal in the menu, so it's a lot easier than Souls. But the combat is a lot less stiff than Souls. And also, it's very multiplayer oriented, which is why it's so weird that it's a single player game. You control 4 characters, and by control I mean you have 3 characters who aren't you, and you only control the one that's you. But you have regular damage output compared to the other guys. Like, you're not anything better than them. So you're only like a quarter of the DPS, despite being the only player character. So it makes you feel a little weaker, I guess, if you're not used to that. If you're used to being the sole DPS in most action RPGs. Deep Down was gonna be a spiritual successor to Dragon's Dogma, but a dungeon crawler. And it's been, like, unofficially cancelled, I think.
アブさんあれ減ってないらしいっす。効力戦。まあまあまあ。お互い
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma was a single player MMO. I'll play it now. I got it. Well, really.
俺の知識は適当だから。いやなんかね、その動画でまとめみたいなの上げてたんだよ。
Dragon's Dogma plays really solid, though. That's really the key. Is the actual gameplay is amazing. The thing is, there's 9 classes in the game, and really 2 of them are super similar to other ones, so it's more like there are 7 classes in the game. And all of them get significantly more complex as you get levels in them, and they are only like 9 levels big. It doesn't take very long to max level any of them. But they all provide radically different gameplay experiences, and they're all quite complex. But they don't start complex. If you're just hitting stuff with a sword at the beginning of the game, it doesn't feel complex at all.
厳しい。てか今マッチさんあれっすか？当直中っすか？いないってことはそうか。
I mean, you can change it freely in Dragon's Dogma, but you can't do everything. You can't be every class at once. You can't even take skills from one class into other classes. You can take augments from one class into other classes, but they just do fixed stuff. It's like fucking strength times 120%. Run faster on the same amount of endurance, stuff like that. Oh, is it still alive? Is there hope? Don't completely give up.
木曜この時間にボンバーがあるやつね、マッチさん珍しく感じますね。確かに。
I wouldn't really say there's a super all-arounder class in Dragon's Dogma. There kind of is. Your weapons determine your basic attacks and your skills. And there are some classes that can equip quite a variety of weapons, namely the Assassin. But all the mixed vocations, technically. There's a class that can equip a staff or a sword, and they get magic or physical. You can just freely hot swap at any time. Strider's okay. If you want to make a Strider, you can make a Strider. If you get to the fucking first town, you can just reclass whenever you want to. The main city, I mean, Grand Soren. So it's not like you need to restart to do that. Strider's one of the slightly less interesting classes to me. It's also very similar to Ranger. Ranger's generally Strider but better, but they have different growths. And also Strider can steal, which is kind of cool. The thing I really like about Dragon's Dogma, I've talked about it before, is that almost every enemy in the game is a puzzle boss of some variety. The way that the pawns work, you got the fucking 3 guys traveling with you. The way they work is that every enemy has programmed like certain things that you can do to them to make them easier to fight. And if your pawns won't naturally do those things to make the fight easier, but if they see you or another player doing those things, they'll start doing them. So 1, you can show your pawns ways to kill enemies, and the pawns will learn it, and the enemies will be easier because your pawns will be doing the cheap stuff too. And 2, if you fucking send your pawns out to other players and get them back, and the pawns get the fucking taunt, the pawns get the fucking data. You can watch the pawns and learn how to fight the enemies in a cheap way. And considering how, like, you know, there's not a crazy amount of stuff you can do in the game, it's surprising just to what degree you have counterplay against the enemies. Like, there's somewhere it's really simple. It's like Saurians can't be knocked over, but if you attack their tails, the tail gets cut off. and then you can knock them over with only a few hits. But then there's some that are a lot more complex, or some that are a lot more specific, especially like an enemy being weak to sleep and having mages put them to sleep.
Dudley が5期今俺がここに入るってこと？ダッドリーは忍さんもいるよ。5期は査定通ったらどうぞ。いや、いいです。あ、アブさんが
I found out recently if someone rents your pawn and like uses it enough, it eventually caps out how many rift crystals you get. I got like 10 million all at once.
何 SA が1番だ。
Sad, but also nice. Whoa, SA1, and it hit. Based.
何そういうことか。黒が好きなのね。
Haunting Grounds was also supposed to be Resident Evil 4. Both Haunting Grounds and fucking DMC1 started as RE4. It's funny that not only did we get a great game out of RE4, but we also got like other great games out of RE4. The idea with RE4 initially that led to Dragon's Dogma, I mean not DMC1, is to play as a guy who was like infected with the virus who could like teleport around like fucking Wesker. I don't think Wesker actually did teleporting around back then. To play as someone infected who was like busted. The idea behind Jake, I guess. Nice, hit him on the ground. You don't need me to tell you that RE4 is the greatest thing. What the fuck? Is SA1 good? He didn't confirm that. I guess you don't need to, it's plus. That fucking stand job. Oh. SA1 is the greatest meme. I talked about this recently at a Wednesday Night Fights, but I guess I'll talk about it here. SA1 is plus from Yang, so you don't need to confirm it. But it's not particularly fast. Let's say it's like 7 frames. I don't know the actual speed, but we'll call it 7. And you can parry it post-freeze because it's actually a pretty big window. And it's only 1 parry. I replay RE4 like once every year, give or take. Still quite a good game. I have one lingering regret, and that's that I've never done Mercenaries 5 stars with all characters. There's only like 20 of them. It's like 4 stages, 5 characters. You get stuff for it too. I've done separate ways on normal and hard. Done regular play on normal and hard. Done assignment Ada. What else is in the game? I've used every weapon in at least one playthrough. That lip parry, but he didn't cancel right away. He didn't punish because he was afraid of the Chun-Li immediately supering. What a stupid world we live in. Where the Chun-Li doesn't stop being dangerous just because you parried her. If Chun-Li's low forward just had a later cancel window, it would actually prevent that, which would be funny. What's you guys' favorite RE4 weapon? The Matilda's probably actually my favorite, but it's like shitty. It goes through your ammo so quickly, it's so hard to not burst fire. You have to fucking tap that button so lightly. But it's so cool.
応翼線が減るんすよ。
しかも下だからしゃがみくらいなんだわ、こっちみたいな。
Red 9 is like everyone's favorite weapon because it's so fucking, it's so general purpose. Actually, my favorite weapon might be the TMP.
まあこれ
カス
Broken Butterfly is a super fun weapon just because of how strong it is.
むしろしゃがみくらい上げますよみたいな。
チュンリーのしゃがみにコンボがしっかり入るキャラが羨ましいですね。それ結構出ますよね。
なんだっけ、5期近代パン中竜巻がなんかランダムらしいですよね、確か。はい。
金中パンにしないで。
Only used weapons I could find, that's just no merchant.
まあね、だって竜巻すら入んないからね。中足竜巻すら。
No merchant's a super fun way to play the game. Also quite hard.
いや違う違う違う、先端。
Knife only sounds fun, but unfortunately it's like impossible because there are certain things you have to shoot. So the closest thing to that is like handgun and pistol, or handgun and knife only. And that's basically no merchant, but even more so.
まあ簡単っちゃ簡単っすね、行くのは。
うん、ミカド、
どっちの味方ですかね、馬場と池袋あるんですけど。
まあどっちもまあね、その
ま
山
あ
の手だけど、
バーサスから行くんだったら池袋の方が近いですけどね。
近いね。まあ空陣刺さった時がそう。じゃあ空陣刺さった時は、他のキャラは膝とかタイパンでいいんだけど、まあこうそのチュンリーはしゃがみ中パンにしないといけ
What
ない。
does that mean, kill infected merchants?
しゃがんでくださったぞ。
I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that one.
ババかな。ババも山手線で一本ですよ。
馬場はね、ぶっちゃけあれ。
Ooh, almost.
大会の時
That was
ぐらい
most of the
しかや
parries.
ってないんで。
That was a fully matched one and only 3 went
ど
unparried.
ちらかといったら池袋もそうでもないんだけど、どちらかといったら池袋の方がいい。
あ、まあ確かに駅前で言ったらババだよね。
I see.
駅からだと、まあ、ちょびっとわか
I
る。
always figured it was based on the lighting of the area. Sometimes they use the merchant with lighter eyes and like fucking darker places. Or glowing eyes in darker places, I mean. That's what most people do. Is they just run away at all opportunities. But if you're also killing enemies, you don't get that many drops. It's definitely not bad, actually. There's nothing not fun about that, I feel. Running past enemies is like still fun, I feel. Or like dodging them, rather. Trying to figure out how to solve rooms without having to stop much. That's basically just speedrun mode at that point. It's a lot less tense when you're killing everything, I feel. Because every single room leads to a point where it's just like, yeah, I'm totally safe. And you tend to fight the enemies off one by one. If you're not killing all enemies, you can get situations where you're like surrounded, or situations where there's enemies coming from a lot of different directions. My earlier playthroughs were always kill all enemies. But nowadays, I often just sprint through it. I kill some enemies but not others. The cool thing about RE4 is if you try and conserve ammo, you'll get a very bad impression of how much ammo there is in the game. That's the really neat, good part of the design, is that if someone comes in from like RE1 and is used to saving ammo, they'll get almost no ammo drops, because the amount of ammo drops you get is based on how much you have. So if you use it up, you get ammo drops very reliably, but if you never use it up, you get almost none. It's the same with herbs. If you never get hurt, you'll think there's no herbs in the game. But if you get hurt a lot and you have no herbs in your inventory, they're like a 1 and 2 drop. It's designed to make you feel like you're super strapped for resources without actually strapping you for resources.
まあ剣だと絶対届くんだけど
It's very good.
あー EX
It also has a variable difficulty setting with the enemy
そ
patterns.
もそもライダー
Based on how well you're doing is how aggressive the enemies will be. And professional mode doesn't actually make the enemies harder. It does give them more health, but it puts them at the max aggression at all times.
まあ生ウェッパがしてかななんかそれブロってメンツだったらブロんなくていいんじゃないのって思っちゃうね俺だったらそんなリスクを冒してまで俺もユニアン使ってて中足ブロっても肘入んないから俺下入れないっすもんまあ確かに
Because of those systems, it made it so people coming in trying to get an action game out of RE4 got it, and because people coming in trying to get a horror game out of RE4 got it. So it was all in all very smart, unless you know about it, in which case it's just, you know, you don't really have to be afraid anymore. But people wouldn't know about it on their first playthrough. Most people don't know about it even though they've beaten the game. Got him. See, he's trying to make him land on a low. You also only find weapon ammo for weapons you have. So if you don't have a shotgun, you'll find shotgun ammo just sitting around on the stage.
シーンだねそう今ってタイパンがまあまあ危ないああまあ確かに
But enemies won't drop it. Enemies won't drop mine thrower ammo.
ああまあそうチュンリーの中足の前にあんまりいないっていうのは大事ですね結局勝てないから中足攻撃
So if you don't buy the TMP, you'll get a very bad impression of how much TMP ammo is in the game. Yeah, it always gives you handgun ammo. No matter what. Handgun ammo is just a default drop. I've tried to do that. I've tried to have a no handgun playthrough and the game still gives you handgun ammo like crazy. But it tends to give it to you a lot more when you're low on it. I was trying to do a TMP only playthrough, which ended up being basically a melee hits only playthrough. Because the melee is really busted in every RE actually. If you know how to use it. That second side was pretty awkward, but it worked. The right was even more awkward. Normally we get a Tominaga Fest after these things, so the amount of Ibuki we're getting is a pleasant surprise. See how Chun-Li used crouch jab? TMP is not that late. That's not chapter 4. I don't even think it's like chapter... I think you get it while you're still in the... I think you get it before castle. Whoa! Holy cow, someone alert Bungus. Someone call Bungus. You guys see that shit? He did the red parry. That makes it significantly easier. He had almost no health, so he had to get that perfect. Bungus, look at this. A very nice parry and punish. So the initial parry is 2 frames. But if you block the first hit and then do a red parry perfectly, like anything, any timing you do the red parry, you're going to be parrying something as long as you're fast. Because the hits are so close together. So the red parry, it's like still 2 frames, but the timing is like you know where it is. As opposed to the post super freeze window, which is kind of awkward and like no good frame of reference. TMP at the same time as rifle?
ひるきに移動投げはね、まあ確かに化けるね、投げ前広がったら。歩いてくるだけで
TMP is such a utility weapon,
こいつ。
but I'm not sure I'd call it that strong. It's definitely good.
つくづくあんな舞台
I don't know. It depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to kill all enemies, it's quite good.
休憩
If you're trying to get through the game, it's probably the best
ユ
weapon.
リアンとかやめて。いっ
If you're trying to just clear a path,
ぱいいるよ。そういうの
get through rooms as fast as possible with minimal interaction with enemies, TMP is king. Casually just pop someone in the leg as you pass them. If there's a bunch of them, pop one guy in the leg and then melee all of them. All of a sudden you got a path through.
ユリアンもショートスイングみたいな肘当たってよかったもんな。超強いから。投げとそれしか自虐かけない。アクション仮面さ、それ支援じゃないですか、ヒーリングって。9号だからって支援じゃないですか、それ。そうなんですよね。昔のゲームっぽいのが、まあ、面白いっていう。
I buy the stocks out of obligation, to be honest.
面白くないんですよ。
I never notice how shaky it is before or after the stock. If I have the weapon, I just buy all the accessories for it. Make his corner escape safe. That kept hitting Chun-Li, but she was only getting hit by one kunai each rep. Oh, got hit midair. Thought it was kill. Ooh, that could have been super. That could have been super.
システム尖りすぎですね、このゲームは。
Ibuki's whoa, universal overhead over the
おー、
over
強い
the Hazanshu. That was cool. I don't think he planned for that.
強いね、今の。もう目に見えないテクニックいっぱいある。
Ibuki she can play with her low forward versus Chun-Li. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Chun-Li gets more rewarded, but oftentimes it'll be a trade and not a punish. Like the snorting. The striker is my favorite weapon. It's not actually my favorite, but man, I just remembered it. I remembered having fucking 100 rounds in your chamber, so you don't have to ever carry around fucking shotgun ammo. I remembered the Ditman glitch. That was whiffed towards our kick into parry. I thought that by the island, RE4 was all out of scares. So the regenerators were a really pleasant surprise. They were actually quite scary. Oh no. Misread where Chun-Li would end up. This should kill. Never mind, I lied. That was actually a really shitty punish too. That's perfect for Ibuki. Or not. That was nice for Chun-Li too because he got some meter out of his punish. I guess that was a bit obvious. So right here, I'm sure what Ibuki was thinking was if I DP, I'll get the meter to super. But of course, if it's parried, you don't actually build any bar. I don't think the game ever hits you with 3 chainsaw guys. I think there are 2. And the minecart. super scary fighting them in such small quarters, even though you have really good means to fight them at that point.
別にその前ぐらいから出るよね。
なんか一時期なんか1グレでも認識されるようになったんじゃなかったかな。確かレバーニュール。あ、何した。
アクションカラーさんわかんない
Yeah.
じゃん。ダメだよ。包丁武器とかやってや。
That might have been 4 then, because there were 2 leading up to that.
あれでもその頃のポジョムキンって強いんじゃなかったっけ。
それアクセントコアじゃねえかな。
あ、そう。
ああ、青色はね、ちょっとなんだよな。スレイヤーって強くなかった気がするんだけど。
Oh, you're going way far back.
96が一番きつい。
The special death animation really got to me the fucking first play. I was one of those guys who died in the fucking little opening where it teaches you how to play. That's one of the things I really love about RE4. That's probably some of the best design in the whole game. Is the second room of the entire game is like a fucking unending onslaught that only ends when you fucking checks that you've killed enough enemies.
アークゲームは技出しやすくてシステムに穴があったり電気ラッパー調整の上
It doesn't do anything to actually teach you how to play the game. It just throws you right into the thick of it, and it's like if you survive this, you're ready to play the rest.
にしたなこの人。
It teaches you just enough that you feel comfortable against 1v1 enemies, and then gives you an arena and like a bunch of enemies.
何も意味ないんだよ。何も意味ないんだよ。
And you gotta find your own choke points.
そこに合わせるぐらい
Yeah, there are 2 chainsaw guys if you go to the right spots. One of them always spawns, and the other one you've gotta go to like a corner. And it's ideal to fight both of them because they both have good rewards. 5 is like not very good. A lot of people call 5 the worst RE, but they're not considering some of the spin-offs.
9号レバーむずくねえすか。
But 5 is probably the worst numbered RE. It's okay, it's just not great.
北斗とバサラはアッパーがいい。
It would also not be very good if you hadn't played like 1.
だから好きな人は好きなんやってゲームになってるし。
It is fun.
やっぱり下なんだよ。
Co-op is fun. Co-op removes a lot of the more glaring issues with the game, such as inventory space and Sheva's extremely dumb AI. So, like, if you played it for co-op, you actually got a much better experience than the people who complain about it. I think 6 is generally better than 5. I've been saying that! RE6 does have the best Mercs mode. Best gameplay, best Mercs mode. Simple as that.
アークゲーは攻めが強いゲーム多いイメージ。まあ、そうですね。でもだから面白い。
Oh, the first hit was the only one that hit. Chun-Li ducked the second one. What a strange world we live in, where you can duck an overhead. The taunt! What does it mean? Oh, now he's dead.
コンボイ失敗しても大きな失敗。なるほど。
When you taunt in neutral and then you die.
でも攻めが強いゲームの方が面白くない？
まあ守りが強いゲーム。
いや、
I like the atmosphere and the horror a lot more in the more horror-oriented games, but I do think the action games are more fun to play.
パーティー必要ね。ああ、そうですね。
Ooh, Far Fierce Fierce, he went for the whole
パーティ
thing.
ーっていうか、このキャラ相手のこの攻めにはどういう守りをする
I feel like a lot of horror games have really bad gameplay,
一生か
and that makes them really, like, not very fun for, like, subsequent plays. Like, I love Silent Hill 2, but it's not very fun.
クソ減った。
I love RE1, but it's not very fun.
新掛け中はね、ダメージ1.5倍なんでクソ減りましたね。いててててて。赤い赤い赤い。赤い赤い赤い。赤い赤い厳しい。何これ。
4, 5, and 6 all feel pretty good to actually play, I feel.
厳しい。
RE and Silent Hill are actually some of the most playable horror games. There are a lot of horror games where you feel like shit. You ever play Clock Tower? It's basically a point and click. I know that they're trying to make it so you feel very helpless against anyone who's trying to attack you. But man, do you feel helpless. It's a bad feeling. It's not fun. It's fun the first time because you're tense.
足が薄すぎる。
But if you're trying to replay it, Silent Hill 4 is, I don't know if I call it good to play.
カス
It's definitely boring. There's a lot of fucking, the whole game is just revisiting places.
アブサンスね
Go back to the room again. Go to the fucking world again.
隙がない
Go to the room again. Go to the world again. Adjusting inventory space, putting stuff in your big dumb box, taking stuff out of your big dumb box.
膝打てない
And then you revisit every world too.
ジャンプ中継ジャンプ中継か
なんで投げなの
More like scary to annoying.
入んないで絶対今の
I really hate any area there's a fucking ghost in.
チュンリー全部のボタン強すぎません強いっすね
I like that you got ghosts for the characters you met in the game. That was actually super cool. What the fuck? Gaming fact, you can tech that like a throw. You can block Ibuki's taunt, you can parry Ibuki's taunt, and you can also tech Ibuki's taunt like a throw.
やっぱ
The game gave you 3 separate ways to deny Ibuki the taunt. I think it's common knowledge you can block it and assume that you can parry it, but most people don't know you can tech it.
使わないの小径ぐらい小径も
Doesn't have to be an earthrow either.
移動投げの前調整で使いやすいね
壊し中足っていう鉄板連携が
そうそれで壊しと移動投げの2択そうですね壊しから移動投げ
なども全部強い気がする
しゃがみ中足があんまりいかない感じあるかな
立ちコタンじゃね
ああ
褒めているのかな
ただあんまり使ってる人じゃないけどダッドリーしゃがみ小判使う人は
I generally like the order shit less and the spooky town more.
みんなタッチ中盤だよ
So Silent Hill 2 for that reason as well is one of my favorites.
唐草読みでコパコパコークとかやってる人見たことないもんね
まあしゃがみ中盤でいいっちゃいいからね発生1しか違わねえし
1 is like all order shit. 2 is like spooky town. 3 is all order shit.
しゃがめば
4 is like back and forth.
しゃがめば
Origins is also, I guess, back and forth.
読み分けたら苦難食らうだけでさすがに中足センターしゃがめるんだね
Shattered Memories is all spooky town, I guess.
あの水大パン
しゃがめそう
Homecoming is both. Downpour is spooky town.
少ないから大足食らいそうだけど危ない
Ooh.
技が強い今の
I should go and play Origins on stream.
しゃがめば
I should play 1 and 3 on stream.
しゃがめの正義なんだよね
I don't even like Origins.
だって息吹なんてあの距離でさもしそのしゃがみにジャンプライパー当たってもさ遠目で
うん
せいぜい本当に狙って大足ぐらいしか繋がんないでしょセンター
Whoa. I must drop some fat spoilers trying to explain what the order's about. The PSP one was the fucking Origins, and it's kind of bad. It's very unadventurous.
詰まってきたさすがに
It started as a Western only, or Western made third person shooter. And then the company that was making it was literally like, because the 1 through 4 were all Japanese, I think. And Silent Hill 4 didn't even start as a Silent Hill game. So when they were making Origins, which was Silent Hill 0, it was outsourced to a Western team. And the Western team made at least a good amount of a third person shooter. And then was like, we're fucked, we don't know what we're doing. And then Team Silent like jumped in to fucking salvage the game. And they ended up with a game that was very unadventurous. It feels quite a lot like the older Silent Hills, which you might like. Shit gets rusty, all doors are locked, etc. I like Downpour. I had a good time with it. I also, that's another example of a horror game. I would say it's probably the most playable game in its series.
カエルさんが通ってる
I mean, yeah,
らしい
don't play the
家に
AC
行ってるけ
versions
ど
of
合
2 or
わない
3.
のよね。あ、そうなんすか。
You're actually playing Silent Hill for the atmosphere, so you don't want to play a
Kaeru-san,
version where the atmosphere is ruined, and there's some other stuff that's fucked too. It's probably the single worst HD remake I've ever seen based on what I've seen.
てかぼち
I've
ぼち
never
人
played
も
it,
いるって聞いた気が
but
しま
I
す
know about a lot of the changes, and a lot of them are like, wow, this kind of fucks up stuff that was pretty good before.
カエルさんは鹿児島でやってるんじゃないですか、たまに。それそれそれ。
Yeah, their RPC ports, they're pretty bad, but I think the community has stepped in to rescue them.
砲翼戦らしいよ、反撃。反撃砲翼戦らしいよ、大足は。大足の反撃。そうなんだ。
The community seems really split on Downpour. A lot of people didn't play it because it's Western, and there's a perception that all Western Silent Hills are bad, which is pretty true.
いや、なんか。
But Downpour is actually like the one that people fight about. All the other Silent Hill games people generally agree on. It's like 4 in Downpour. Some people think 4 is good, some people think it sucks, some people think Downpour is good, some people think it sucks. And it's like the opposite. The people who think Downpour is good think 4 sucks and vice versa.
おいおいはここに来てよ。ああ、色白の人間さんお疲れ様でした。お疲れ様です。また来週。
I like both of them, so I guess I just lied.
この間
The only Silent Hill game I don't like is Book of Memories, and I guess Origins.
ここ来てやるのまた
Origins recycles a lot of,
3時間ぐらいやったんだよ
obviously it recycles the gameplay, but it recycles a lot of fucking spooky ideas too. But like
しか
simplified.
もさいつも富士見台でやってんだよ池袋ミカドでやってるんだよそれでわかる俺たちの
It's like, oh, we don't have the Pyramid Head this time, but this time we got the Butcher. You only got 3 endings to work towards. Good ending, bad ending. Fucking UFO. That's it. You know what I noticed recently? You know Lisa? The fucking nurse from Silent Hill 1? She's like such an unimportant character. She's like the least important named character in Silent Hill 1. But she actually appears in more games than any other character. She's in the movie too. The first movie. I don't remember if she was in the second movie. And they didn't name drop her in the movie, but she was there. Side cut jab, cut strong.
ユウさん全然見ないですね、そういえば。
She's in 1, she cameos in 3.
ユウさん。
She's in Silent, or she's in Shattered Memories.
あそうなの秋田書いたのあ秋田書いたか
I almost revealed spoilers about Lisa in explaining who she was. You know what's cool about Lisa? She only appears in the other world.
あそうなんだへえ
Oh, she's heavily featured in
秋
Origins.
田に書いちゃったらしいですね
Nice. Bitch has been in like 5 games. Heather's fun. What's the son? Vincent? I can't remember his name. The fucking lawyer guy. From Silent Hill 3. They look like monsters to you? That guy. I liked him a lot. He was fun. He was a super fun character. He was very deliberately written, I feel, to be a villain that you ally with. Whoa, it didn't combo, even though she was so close. I found out something about him. I remember reading about it. In every scene that he's in, he's got one eye looking straight towards the camera and one eye looking away. And also in all the promotional art of him. So it's like he's got a fucking lazy eye or something. But it's just like a subtle way that they tried to make his character design a bit more uncomfortable. Also, his peoples are different sizes, in game and in art. He's got like a tiny people and a big people. I guess both of those together kind of make it seem like he might have a fake eye or something. But there's no like evidence in game for that or anything like that. They were just looking for ways to make characters creepy, I guess. Claudia has no eyebrows. I like saw her face like a million times and I never noticed. Go look at a picture of Claudia Wolf right now. Bitch has 0 eyebrows. That was a deliberate decision by the design team to make her face harder to read. To subtly make her a bit more uncomfortable to look at. And to make her a bit more unpredictable.
昨日言ってたけどさ、なんかやたらとなんかニュートンのそばにやたらと湧いてるんですよ。そうなんですよ。ニュートンのそばにやたらと。
What's a Silent Hill game that has a lot of characters? I guess Homecoming.
なんでだろうね。
Ooh, that parry and punish. That's blue? I always thought that was red. Damn, I could be doing that too. All this time. Yeah, the first parry was definitely blue. Ken Shinshoryu is red. I think Sean's is red as well. Dudley's is blue. Or not Shinshoryu, but you know. The Repa, the Repa DP super. Show you Repa. Now there's a huge point in parrying that, but you know, it's less chip I'll take and I get some meter for it, so I might as well parry it. I don't think it would change my punish in any way. I don't think I could probably get a jump. Whereas neutral jump is really slow. Yep, different sized pupils. And one of his eyes is always facing the camera and one of them is always not quite facing the camera. They wanted him to look creepy.
あと、シンター当たり曲がった。動画のタイトル広くてチェストしか書いてないの。誰と誰だかもわかんない。いや、わからない。
What the fuck is this normal sequence? Like low jab, fucking, or low short. It was like low jab, stand jab, low short or something. A lot of damage on that, crouching Remy. Oh my god. That's 2 hits for Ibuki. Oh, the blue. That's a good punish too. I get a command grab there. I'm jealous. That was so smart. Far fierce for the long range cancel, and then because it was a low parry, he knew his opponent would be blocking low. Crouching rather. So he did the medium Subuji into low follow up. I can give you the link if you want. There you go. Scope out everything. This footage is almost over, but there's been lots of fucking Ibuki all through it. And this guy has been playing almost non-stop for the last, like, hour. Oh, it's SF3! Is that for healing? Is that to punish healing better? Because it's healing Elena. You got the whiff punish, that's cool. SA3 does some weird stuff in particular matchups.
まあ選んでるからそうなんだよ
I can't think of a reason that
差し込めんだよ
Ibuki would pick it in this matchup other than preference or punishing healing.
正義が
When in your life are you gonna fight a fucking healing Elena?
平和が訪れた平和が
I'll let you practice against mine. Nice punish.
まあそうだね驚いい時間
It does charge pretty fast.
ね結局俺やらずじまいまあいいんじゃないまあこの間やったからいいよ
Yeah, even if she has the super, she can't punish it if Elena gets the knockdown. But Elena doesn't knock down very easily. Ooh, that actually hit. That almost never hits like
なん
that.
かやって
Usually against airborne opponents, that was kind of
出
weird.
してるけど壊しめくりライの方で
Oh, cool juggle. Big brain. Most Elenas get a normal there. I usually don't get shit because I'm dumb. Oh, the RTC. Oh, Elena's so scary right now. With the healing stock. This is like, it's not over, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Elena has so much health and Ibuki has so little. Okay, this is a thing. This could still happen. It's not easy though. Oh, it could easily happen. What was that? I think Elena should have done an air normal in her punish. But that was a bit all in. It's a real Alex. What the fuck?
左右の右もやべえぞ
It was almost a big comeback. Elena had to find a real knockdown to heal. Because SA3 was stocked for Ibuki. He should have sat on it.
あまあそうだねレバーの持ち方で出しやすい出しにくいあるからねそうだねこれ左向きの波動2回が出にくいからいや、エイジス出る、エイジス
Background
ブ
house.
レージ出ないとかあるからあ
Whoa, both of them parrying. I feel like Elena doesn't need to go for air parries like that in this matchup.
ユリアンのタックルエイジスってもうタックルを波動で出してるからもう一回波動やるだけ
But the fact that she wasn't attacking when Alex was parrying was good.
後ろ溜めといて波動キックで出してもう一回波動パンチでやれば
I don't know who the fuck Ryo Bakurai is.
まあ間に合うんじゃない
Is he an online warrior? Friend of yours? Oh, this is looking pretty hopeless too. Elena will have another healing this round, to be honest. Even if Alex starts like winning and get like a bunch of openings all at once, Elena will actually have another heal. Is what I'm talking about. Yup. He needs to get the stun. And that's not going to be easy. The XTP.
無情 と思いきや
The Ibuki's back. And he's running the same super. Nice safe jump. It's not very hard to safe jump that DP.
打ち続ける意志力
Was that a red parry? He blocked the first hit and didn't block the second. That's almost always evidence of a red parry, since that block is free if you get the first one. Ooh, that was kind of awkward. Elena could have met her midair with jump hard kick.
鏡台やし
Healing is good if he can get it, which he couldn't. He needs a knockdown because Ibuki's got that super. A low forward confirm. Elena just casually falling out of the air fierce towards forward. I think he did it too early. Ooh. That was a heal there. There's a heal. That was a quick stand too. The funny thing. That's a punish.
あって
Yeah, for a medium kick into SA3 I've done myself. It's like a free link. It's a multi-frame link and you can buffer it and the reaction time is there's plenty. And it doesn't require a crouching opponent or anything. Oh, love parrying the stand jab from Ibuki. Oh, I'm not even sure if that would whiff punish Roundhouse. Cool punish. Holy cow.
当たりたかった
Never mind, he's dead.
今ので溜まったらワンそろそろ電車やばくなる
We've only got 2 minutes left of this 3-hour video.
もう12時
Looks like Elena's done.
帰ります帰るじゃあこれラストでうちらは
The fierce. Alex is such a big, slow character. It's like, does Alex have anything to punish this? No. Does Alex have anything to follow me in? No. There's a fucking lump.
左に持っていくこっから
He's also one of the characters you can get cross-up and blockables on, which is cool. Easier cross-up and blockables,
そうなんだ
even in the high level.
これでラスト
That could have been one. Command grab. It's hard still. Oh, he got it. It was a mix. Alex got one 50-50 there. He got the right read.
いいなあれライダー俺も欲しいんだけど
Oh, the fierce on hit. The red parry, yo! Yo! Okay, cool. He didn't even have a normal in the middle.
いやいるでしょ唐草から肘つながんのいるでしょ
Oh, the ride down landing. I hate when people do that to me because I'm always parrying there.
中パン EX セットやりたいでしょ超終わってるでしょ
Crouch Fierce got stuffed.
冷静に考えたらそんな
Sad.
唐草中パン EX セット
Not that time.
ライダー飛んじゃいますからね。
そうなんだ
Not that time either. Plus frames because of the EX kunai.
ユリアン唐草だったら
Dead.
さ唐草飛ばれてウェイズやるから
This guy's gotten so much mileage out of the jump over kunai wrong way into super. He always catches people taking throws or hitting buttons.
お疲れ様でした
Oh, it's over. The casuals kept going too. That's the worst. They were just like bye, but I wasn't done.